What is up, everybody? Welcome to The Stack. I'm Alex.
I'm Justin.
I'm Pete.
And on The Stack, we talk about a ton of books that come out each week. A couple of weeks have been a little light, and they've all been saving them up for this last
Summer
month here.
It's a classic summer stack.
This is a back-to-school studying stack is what we got going on.
That's what I was saying. We're going to review some Trapper Keepers, some of those marble notebooks. We're doing it all.
I got to be honest, Lisa Frank is crushing it this season.
Yeah.
Crushing it.
Really great covers. Not a lot going on inside, I will say. Really great.
Do you ever
covers.
do that, Pete? Do you ever go by the old Target and be like, great covers to all the Trapper Keepers?
Oh, man.
You ever hang out in the kids section of Target, Pete? That's the underlying question there.
Are Trapper Keepers still a thing? I feel like that was just when we were kids.
Are Targets still a thing? Anyway, the Mortal Thor #1 from Marvel, written by Al Ewing, art by Pasqual Ferry. This issue, and I'll give a blanket spoiler warning across the board for the everything that we're going to be talking about here in the stack. But Thor died in the last issue of the Immortal Thor, but he is, I know, back.
Out.
Or at least somebody is back in New York, walking around with a hammer, trying to get a job, as we are wont to do. And I'm going to kick it over to Pete, because Pete, I know, loves this, because some people got murdered with hammers. Take it away, Pete.
Yeah, well, first off, just don't assume that just because a big blonde jack guy who's unbelievable with a hammer, don't just assume that this is Thor. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm excited for this. I like when Thor is mortal or has to be a man. It's always a kind of a fun juxtaposition. So, yeah, it was nice to see him.
You said a Justin position?
I didn't, but I'm glad that you heard that.
I'm a man.
Heard that.
Yeah. I'm working my way through all the Justin positions in the Kama Sutra.
You got my rewrite of the book. A lot of them. I took some liberties.
I don't know that those are people that you drew there, but...
No. It's mostly photos of myself. I like to play both sides of the couple.
Wow.
It's been tough, but we've been having fun.
Yeah, Violence with a Hammer is great, and this is interesting. I'm into this. I like this, and it's a little weird, but I'm into it.
Really, I love Pasqual Ferry's art, and I think it's really nice here as we're stepping into a type of Thor we haven't really seen in a long time, because this is not just Thor, the Thor we know, hanging out being like, I used to be able to really do some lightning stuff. This is not the Thor secret identity, tap your cane and turn into Thor situation. This is like none of it happened sort of a thing. So
he doesn't know what's going on. He's got amnesia or something or whatever. But yeah, he just knows.
Well, no, the Asgardians have been erased from history, at least in terms of being real. It seems like they're still North Smiths, but we find out that Beta Ray Bill was a founding member of the Avengers, not Thor. So there's definitely some mystery going on here. It is funny to me that they sold this as this has never happened before in the history of Thor, because several things like this have happened in the history of Thor, including like JMS's run with, it was Olivia Coipel, I think, where the Asgardians were on Earth and didn't know who they were, and Thor had to go around and remind them. So this is like a little bit of a flip of that, it seems, but I still really liked it. There's good storytelling here, and Al Ewing, I think, showed a lot of talent for both becoming very hard to parse like he did throughout the run of Immortal Thor, but also cleaning it up, cleaning out all the busyness like he does here to just focus on, whoa, cool story of a guy with a hammer with a bit more going on if you want to look around the edges.
I do think that I was drawn out of the book about the hammer, because the idea that he's like, I'm a construction worker, and he shows up with a hammer like that.
That's
red
real.
flag.
People show up to construction jobs with tools, Justin.
Definitely with tools. Not a hammer that has a brick on the end of it like this. Like, he wrecks some shop with this. He would be a strange man. That's why I sort of expected him to have a hardware store hammer, but instead he has sort of a tiny Mjolnir.
I hear what you're saying, and I'm not to speak for Pete here, but my friend Pete, I've known him for a very long time. If you got some violence going on with tools of any sort, he is there, right, Pete?
Yeah, that's right, man.
All right. Why don't we move on? Talk about Immortal Legends Batman #1 from DC Comics, written by Kyle Higgins and Matt Groom, art by Erica Durso and Dan Mora. This is the team for the Massive Verse, including Radiant Black and other things, giving their take on Batman, and it's a similar sort of, I'm forgetting the actual term for this type of storytelling, so I do apologize.
Comic book?
No, there's a specific type of, like, it's not, like, isekai is a portal fantasy. There's a specific type of thing this is, and I'm just forgetting what the exact term is, but there is a series of Batmans and Nightwings and Robins, as we find out throughout history. We were following the current one, who is fighting in, it seems like I would say, Firefly type situation. I mean, TV show Firefly because it's future Western. So yeah, very much of the wheelhouse, fun stuff. What'd you guys think?
I really like this. It's the kind of thing that I was like, oh, I don't know what this is going to be. And we've seen these sort of what if or Elseworld style iterations on Batman if it had just gone into space. But this is like very well explored and thought out. I like the way we sort of get the origin in the second half of the book, and I really like that part. I'm curious to see more of this. It feels like a larger world in the Elseworlds canon.
Yeah, it's kind of a different kind of art style than the Batman we're used to, which is cool. It helps to kind of separate it. This is kind of like a younger, hipper Batman type of feel with the art style. Yeah, I mean, it's different, you know. Like, it didn't feel like Batman to call out his finishing move, like kind of like Mortal Kombat style. But I do like Batman, so I will keep checking this out, and I like the team behind it. So this is interesting enough.
Do you ever call out a finishing move, like when you really like finish a burrito, or
No, I haven't. That isn't my style. But
you never say like garbage plate.
Well, great. This is good stuff. Good start here. Excited to see this team take their own take on it. Universal Monsters, The Invisible Man #1 from Skybound and Image Comics, written by James Tynion IV, art by DANI. Little note here, Justin and I chatted with the team for this book, and we are going to have a spoilery interview that will go up at the Comic Book Club feed later. But this is the latest in the Universal Monsters line, focusing appropriately on the Invisible Man movie, but finding their own riff on it as he slowly discovers the formula to become invisible. Pete, since we didn't talk to you about this one earlier, what do you think about
Give
this
us a fresh take, Pete.
Hey, in case you're wondering, like, hey, why isn't Pete there? Some of us have a day job, you know what I mean? Like, some of us, you know, got to do stuff.
Okay.
And so,
oh, is that how you afford those blinds?
That's right.
Blinds flex.
This is blinds money. I'm pretty sure
money.
these are the cheapest.
Here's the thing, Pete. I was considering you sort of the Invisible Man of that interview.
Oh, wow. Thanks. Very moved by this.
No, I meant the sociopath that we were worried about showing. You know?
Oh, that makes more sense. Yeah, first off, love this cover. Love the art style. Yeah, we kind of get like a slow burn with what's going on here, but I like it. And I'm interested in to kind of like what's going to happen and how this is all going to kind of come together. But there's a guy, and he ignores his loved one because he's really obsessed with his job. So I can understand that. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So yeah,
it's interesting to me that
I felt very seen.
Ironically,
Yeah.
the first of the Universal Monsters books, the other one that James Tynion IV worked on,
JT4,
was very different. But then the ones after have followed a very like emotion, like incorporating the Universal Monster canon, bringing it sort of up to date from a storytelling perspective, but sort of leading with emotion. And I think that's really successful. The Dracula book felt like it was almost a pastiche, or there was something that was doing something different. But these last three have felt very much of a piece, and I really like that they sort of rhyme with each other in a way. This one, I really like what a monster our main character is before he even becomes invisible. And that we are really with him. We are riding on his shoulder the entire time, which is strange because he's like straight up not good.
Yeah, and you love mind humping. You know what I mean? You love getting inside their head and hearing how they're thinking.
Mindhumper was my favorite show on Netflix from a few years ago.
Yeah, and that's position number 43, I believe.
Wow.
Thank you for calling that out. Wow, you're like the Lex Luthor of sex positions.
I've spent a lot of time with this book, Justin, so... Yeah. Dani's art on this is great. I really love how she executes on the invisibility as well. There's a bunch of negative space things that play with the borders of the panels. There's a bunch of shading things that go on, as well as just like your requisite, not exactly a dotted line, but sort of like thin line where you can't quite see thing. So there's a lot of different playing with that, which I think is really cool. And I did call this out in the interview, but the creepiest part of the book for me is nothing to do with the invisibility. There's a scene where they're eating dinner, and it's just he's slowly cutting apart the meat and then eating the meat. It's very impressive that you could make something like that so uncomfortable on a still page like a comic book. So
I mean, you should try eating meat. It's
never
like
have, never will.
It's like that.
Never.
You're cutting right through it. It's like murder.
No, thank you. I only eat gruel. That's where I draw the line. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder, number 1 from IDW, written by Dan Waters, art by Michele Bandini. This is taking place in the same continuity as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles title. And finally, we're catching up with Shredder, who's... Man, he's real bummed out. It's almost like he has nothing left to shred anymore. But better shred than dead, I say.
Come on,
and
dude.
so
I'm
he's
not
ready
gonna stand
to
for this.
shred one more time.
I'm not going to stand for this.
How
Put
dare they? How dare they? This man is a villain.
Yeah.
This man is a bad
legendary
guy.
Would you do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Hitler number 1? That's my question.
Thank you, Alex. That's exactly what I was... Maybe not the same words or the same reference, but that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, I mean, I've heard Shredder say things like, tonight I dine on turtle soup. If I said that about you two, if I was like, tonight I dine on Alex soup, you'd be like, we don't want to have a comic book about this guy. And here we are
position
with
58,
Shredder.
by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Alex soup, yum yum.
Oh my god! Oh, this is so gross. All right, if I may, I'm very excited for this. Shredder is one of my favorite villains, so I'm way too amped about this. But yeah, it's kind of cool to get this backstory. We kind of get to learn more about the Shredder, notoriously kind of a shrouded man. So yeah, he kind of has to fight his way back into his own building, which is crazy. You know, you think if you invented the Foot Clan, you would have to, you would get some, free passes on a couple of the beginning levels, but no, dude, he's old school, and he's like, listen, I don't want your technology, my Shredder uniform. I just want to shred, bro. I'm back to basic Shredder. So
he kills a lot of people.
Yeah, on his own staff, which, it's got to be tough to work for. But insurance notes aside, I think this is very cool and cannot wait for more Shredder. He's a fantastic character, and I love this time that we get to spend with him.
Yeah, I love it this time. Like spending time with Grandpa. Has Shredder always been like just hot and literally shredded?
Always.
Like, I thought he had a face scarring.
Scar for one of the rats got to him. Yeah,
but he's very
Splinter, I should say, not one of the rats.
Yeah, one of the rats. That'd be fucked up if just a regular rat got him.
Yeah,
one that didn't learn karate or whatever from watching.
Dude, that's how you learn things, is from watching it.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I signed up for karate lessons. They said, "Oh, get in the cage. You can just sit here and watch for the next years, you little rat. We're gonna feed you garbage." Shredder is sort of very melancholy, which I was like, I thought he was a psychopath. He's very just not happy with this thing.
I do like the fact that they kept him a villain here. Like, it's sort of a classic thing to give a villain title and make them an anti-hero, but nope, he's still a bad guy and he wants to be a bad guy again. So I appreciated Dan Waters' focus there. I'm curious to see how this ties in, if at all, with the TMNT title, particularly since that's going to be undergoing a creative team change pretty soon. But I think this is a solid start to this book.
Yeah. I like that he doesn't want the AI robot suit. He just wants to shred.
That's right, dude. Always be shredding.
Absolute Wonder Woman number 11 from DC Comics, written by Kelly Thompson, art by Hayden Sherman. Wonder Woman is still lost in a maze, or rather not lost in a maze at all. She's fighting her way out of a maze.
That's right.
She has found one of her fellow Amazons, and she is working to free everybody who remains in the maze from the witch who has kept them there. Pete, you love this book.
I love this book. I love the art on this book. Also, this is a fucking badass cover we're looking at right here. Yeah, it's nice to see Wonder Woman making some moves here, making deals, using magic. Then you get a magical wolf flashback. I love this. We get a little young Wonder Woman back in the day here. I just love how she is using her intelligence as well as her brawn. It's one of the reasons that she is a great character, is that she will listen to the other people in stories and put things together. I just, this is just... man, just killing it in this book. It continues to be great. Absolute Wonder Woman is just a fantastic series, and cannot wait for the next issue.
I feel like, just to get down, breaking down different aspects here, I feel
Break
like
it down.
Back in the day, and when Batwoman was really coming out, when I want to say J.H. Williams was doing the amazing panel layouts, I feel like we're getting that in this comic. And no one talks about it because the book is so good in every way that even these really interesting and artfully done, the colors are so beautiful in this book. This book has like mythological status without feeling dusty. It feels very current while feeling like a story that has been told for like centuries around campfires. It's just so thematically strong, and the dialogue's excellent. It's maybe the best comic on the stands. I feel like we've said almost this all the time.
Yeah, I mean, this is another great issue. I love the twists and turns as well throughout here. I think this book is also constantly surprising. Like, it goes in directions that I am not expecting and pulls out things that I'm not expecting while still being full of humor and heart in every issue.
Plus, it's like, it's making smart choices. Like, it's so easy to have like an older person say the young person, like, you damn kids today. But they're having a kind of smart conversation about the fact that, like, I like how you surprise me, kid. You know what I mean? So
you're talking about the wolf as the older person in this.
That's right. The magical wolf. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Which is all older people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a great representation of, when you get older, you become gray, and that gray wolf, that gray magical wolf is,
But we're not going to ever go gray, right?
No, not us.
What are you talking about, dude? I'm mostly gray. I'm like fucking Santa Claus over here.
I can't wait for the holidays.
And sorry, fucking Santa Claus is number 16. Is that correct, Justin?
I try to fuck Santa Claus every year. I don't know. That's not just when I hit page 16.
Give him the reverse lappy is what I call it. Imperial Planet She-Hulk. That was hard. Imperial War Planet She-Hulk.
Yes.
Oh my God. What is happening? Horrible. Jesus Christ. Written by Stephanie Phillips and Jonathan Hickman. I was off last week and it's all gone off the rails. Art by Emilio Laiso. This is the first of 2 one-shots we're going to be talking about that spin off of Imperial. And here we're focusing on She-Hulk is back on Sakaar and trying to solve a murder mystery while she is there. What do you guys think about this? This is also, by the way, like a backdoor pilot for a ongoing Planet She-Hulk series that will be coming out after Imperial is done.
Justin, I'm sorry. I know you were going to talk. I just want to say, Alex, you brought it up. How was your time away? Was it nice? Did you go to like a nice beach and just relax?
How do you think I had all that time for Justin's book?
No, yeah, that's a good point.
Alex is always working, and I mean that sexually. But I did want to throw this to Alex. We talked about Imperial War last week, and
that book is just called Imperial.
Correct, Imperial, yes. Well,
there's a war.
There's about a war. What do you think of this event, sort of broad strokes, before?
And do you like how the cover is kind of a reminiscent of the Civil War covers?
That is not a thought that has struck me in any way, other than the times you have mentioned it when we've been talking about it. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of stuff going on. It's very convoluted. There's still, it's funny. I was talking with my son about it because he's been reading Imperial, and he was like, this is both confusing and cool, isn't it? And I was like, yes, it is. That is 100%.
Welcome.
That's a great take. That's a great take.
Because there's so much going on from so many different factions where I'm like, I don't know what any of these people are wanting, where they're following, but when it focuses down on something, it's really fun. Like the Black Bolt moment to the last issue, very fun. All the stuff with Peter, Quill, and Nova where they're hanging out and being like, we're goofs in space is like fun because they're goofs in space. But then whenever they sort of like pull out and show the greater game board as they do in the last issue, I'm like, all right, I don't know how you play this game. I feel like you need to explain some of the rules.
That's exactly was my take. I was like, there's elements of this that are really fun, but this whole like millionaires dare thing they did last issue, I was like, this is confusing, and also it felt like the last episode of Lost. So that's especially why I wanted your take. But I do think what this issue is, Planet She-Hulk, number one, gotcha. It is a focused issue about something, so I think this does really work, and I actually like this series it's going to be spinning out of this.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. She-Hulk's playing detective here, trying to figure out who killed this guy, and then the reveal is, it's all the wives, which is fun. I'm not sure what that has to do with anything, but it was kind of cool to read and a fun moment in time where She-Hulk's like, man, I hate this boring planet and I would like to get out of here. None of these rules make sense. So it's nice that She-Hulk misses her home.
Well, I think that's what it's setting up. Obviously, we'll see when the series itself happens, but I do like this setup of She-Hulk, who is a lawyer, thinks about things analytically and knows what the rules are and how to get one up on anybody, does not know how Sakaar works at all, and her being trapped there against her will, clearly Stephanie Phillips is leading into comedy for this, which is, par for the course for She-Hulk. It's usually a comedy book for the past several decades at this point. So finding a different mode of comedy versus law comedy or something like that, having her rule a court of people who don't like her and she doesn't understand at all. That's good friction that is being set up here, I think.
Well, especially on a planet that was from a dead serious event of Hulk going through like very traumatic moments in his long traumatic life.
And then he's late, which is the worst. You know what I mean? When you're like waiting on somebody and then they don't show up.
I've never actually had to wait for anybody. What is, I guess I just want to check that out.
Well, keep reading because she's going to deal with it. She's going to have to deal with it, and it's fucking the worst.
What an exploration.
It's like, cool, I'll just put my life on hold. You know what I mean?
Void Rivals, number 22 from Skybound and Image Comics, written by Robert Kirkman, art by Conor Hughes. In this issue, the Void Rivals are really going at it, as are several other characters. Ooh, boy, it's all come down to this.
Really good. So wait, real quick, Pete, you love this book the most.
I do, yes.
Tell me what's happening. Tell me what's happening.
First, we got a cool cover. Okay.
Great, that's not...
And what's happening on the cover? Any explanation?
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
wow,
it looks
great.
like one guy's going to attack a giant robot, which, good luck with that. You know what I mean?
Who's the giant robot?
Yeah, it's a
Transformer. I actually don't think that's a giant robot. I don't think that's a Transformer.
Oh,
is it?
Weird.
Yeah, is that
looks like
not Unity, the one who's telling them about Unity? Here's my problem with this book that I realized. We're 22 issues into this book, which generally I like some of the stuff in it. I don't know what any of the characters are named. And granted, we read a lot of books, but the fact that I cannot name the two Void Rivals is maybe a fault on my part and my memory. It's possible, but I feel like if these characters were stickier, I would remember who they are.
Well, it's also funny because they're the main characters. This book jumps around to so many different things, and sometimes it's cool stuff. Like this thing where the armor is like trying to kill the person inside it at the beginning. I was like, that's cool, but I was like, I don't know who these people are. I don't know how this impacts everything else. And then he cut over to like Hot Rod and Doodad or whatever these Transformers are, and they're just like, this is crazy, right? Like, the tone of this book is all over the place.
And then you got the guy who's just like, yo, tell me what happened happened to my wife and kids? You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I was going to
heartbreaking.
say is like, I remember Skuxoid because Skuxoid's story is so ridiculous that whenever it cuts to that, I'm like, yes, something I can hook into. And this issue, Skuxoid finding out that he's Skuxoid Beta and a Skuxoid Prime and was cut in half and just doesn't remember it. And he's like, please, just like Pete saying, tell me what happened to my wife and kids. It's so arch and dramatic. While it's this rock pig man that's talking to another rock pig man with a beard, at least that I'm like, this is fun. I know who this is. I know very clearly what his motivation is, versus, like you were saying, the two Transformers who are like, woo! Their motivation is wee! And that's as far as I can tell. Anyway.
So,
Pete, what happened to this book?
Well, I can't help you. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, great. But it's good. Okay,
it's good.
Star
I do
Trek.
think it is good, and I do enjoy it.
Great. Star
something
Trek.
big did happen at the end. I know that because their heads lit up.
Yeah, Unity is happening.
Yeah.
Star Trek Strange New
UNITY.
Worlds, The Seeds of Salvation, #1 from IDW, written by Robbie Thompson, art by Travis Mercer. This is a spinoff of the Paramount Plus series, which is currently in its third terrible season. We are getting a done-in-one... Not a done-in-one, but like a miniseries adventure featuring the crew. And I will say, contrasting with the thing that's happening in the TV series, it's great to see them actually going to planets and having adventures. The end.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like this, I haven't watched Strange New Worlds. I really want to, except Alex says it's bad. But
Second season was good.
yes.
And I know everybody loved the first season, so I'm not going to yuck their yum. Season 3, I'm sorry, is bad.
Wow, bummer. Because I actually feel like this issue is a very refreshing return to form for a Star Trek book that feels very like, let's go do stuff. Let's Star Trek Next Generation, good vibes comic. So I enjoyed this.
Yeah, I also thought this was fun. I liked the art, and it was kind of cool, a submarine reveal. So yeah, I thought that was pretty neat.
Submarine reveal?
That's another book, but that's going to be cool in a moment.
Yeah, when we talk about that.
Oh,
Wait
no,
a
there
second.
was a submarine reveal in this,
Thank
too.
you. Thank you.
Was there?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
because
Well,
I was thinking about it.
It's like a space submarine, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
So
is called
it's just crazy you said that because there's literally another book in the stack that ends with a surprise submarine reveal.
That's also kind of cool.
All right, well, why don't we move on and talk about The Knives from Image Comics, written by Ed Brubaker, art by Sean Phillips. This is the return to the world of Criminal after many years, and this is kind of like the Avengers Endgame of Criminal, bringing together a lot of different characters from throughout the different graphic novels and series that they've done, set in this world. If you've never read it before, Criminal is basically exactly what you think. It is a crime noir world by these two creators who are known for it. And here we're following three of those characters, mostly one who is a comic book creator who is headed to Hollywood to see one of his properties adapted. Then we're seeing a orphan who grows up in a bar and deals with a bunch of crime in her area and becoming a cat burglar. Definitely very strong shades, I would say, of Ed Brubaker's Catwoman run in that particular story. And the third one we're catching up with, it's not Teague Lawless. Is it Tracy Lawless?
Yes.
Okay, there's three Lawlesses, so I got confused. But this one getting involved with the first two stories, and it's bloody, and it's violent, and it's sexy, and it's everything that you want from criminal books.
Yeah.
It is funny because it does feel like the synthesis and sort of replanting of the onto the ground of the criminal world. Like so much of this is about like going off and following different characters as they go about their lives in these different graphic novel forms. And this is very much sort of moving the camera back and being like, remember all that stuff? Well, let's touch on a lot of it. And it feels like, reading the back matter, that they're moving forward pretty strongly in telling more stories in this world at a more regular pace. So that's really cool. Also, just the Hollywood stuff felt so real and also such a nice way of seeing Ed Brubaker's experience working on the Criminal show, which he show ran. And when we were interviewing him last time for his most recent book before this, I think he sort of dropped some news about that on our podcast. So I was also reminded, like, he's just out there living.
Well,
Yeah,
Oh, sorry. I was just going to mention on that note that he has been doing Hollywood stuff for a while. He also showrun the first season of Batman Cape Crusader, and now the Criminal Show, which the first season is coming out sometime this fall. I don't think we have an exact date. It is weird to read that because it's about the writer having a bad experience on the show. So I kind of imagine, I hope he's talking about something else and not Criminal, but I guess we'll see. Sorry, Pete. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that this is a thick comic, but it is worth the ride. This is badass and amazing. The art's unbelievable. It really delivers on this type of the type of storytelling that that set the tone like Criminal and other of the amazing Brubaker stuff. So this really delivers, and then some. Amazing violence and twists and turns and whodunit and action and romance. And yeah, I just it's really impressive that he can set the bar this high and then deliver. This team is unbelievable, and this is really worth checking out.
There were two things that I wanted to call out, and I agree with you guys. Nobody is doing it like Brubaker and Phillips, but one, maybe they've done it in other ones that I've forgotten, but there was a thing they did in Where the Body Lies, where they would jump back in time. Pretty much as soon as you get to the book, in the book, you'd be like, why did that happen? And then you flip the page and be like, you're probably wondering why that happened. Here's what happened 1 week earlier. And they use that device here, and I love that so much. It's just fun in the middle of a lot of like very grim crime stuff going on often. The other thing, it's funny we've been talking about sex positions, and I know you guys are going to make fun of this. Have you noticed that Sean Phillips always draws people having sex in the same position? It's always the woman on top, and it always looks exactly the same.
Well, that's not fair. There's a lot of positions featured in this.
There's a couple. But that woman on top position, I've seen that so many times in their work. Many times.
What is your fucking deal, bro?
I don't know. There's other positions.
So your problem is
came up with
you're like, oh man, I hate it that the woman's on top, but they keep showing it. Really,
no, it's
Alex wants to shake it up.
If two people are in love, they can be in whatever position they want.
That's right, they can be. Alex,
that's really nice. Yeah. But you're saying you wanted to shake it up a little bit.
Yeah, shake it up a little bit. That's all.
Really,
you want to see a little bit more, like 42, maybe some 45s in there.
Wow. Yeah, you know what? I'll send him some notes.
Yeah, great.
I'll tell you what, it's crazy when we get Pete on board with a sex position conversation. He was for a minute there, he was really on board with it.
All right, let's move from sex positions to superpositions with Superman at number 29 from DC Comics, written by Joshua Williamson, art by Dan Mora. Big things going down in the DC universe as Superman is teaming up with Superboy Prime, who is back. Right. And they are going to the future to fight Darkseid's Legion. Darkseid has taken over the future of the Absolute Universe, and we find out in this issue there has been an enormous war of the Legions with all the versions of the Legion of superheroes from different parts of reality, and they have lost. We loop back to Booster Gold, who's been missing since the end of the DC All-In Special, and there are some further twists and turns here that happen by the end. Man, I thought this was great. Like, for event storytelling, this feels big. I love how they're building it. This feels like classic DC stuff going on here. And one thing I'll say, not to slam something while build something up, but I know I talked a lot about how the We Are Yesterday crossover of like, we've got to conquer the future to destroy the past. I found that very confusing. Here, they made it clear why Darkseid is doing it, that he is destroying the future to destroy the Legion, which inspired Superman. So if he destroys the Legion, Superman isn't inspired, which destroys the present. And I thought that is very cool and executed in a way that made sense to me in the way that previous crossover did not.
It's amazing that Darkseid has such a command of the DC continuity, that he's able to know how important that would be.
Do you think he sits in on editorial meetings? Because I'd say yes.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of Darkseid is flying around the DC conference rooms. I agree with you. It's amazing that they're able to sort of have this event-style storytelling in just regular comic issues. Like, I find that super refreshing. I like a lot of the stuff that's happening here. Every time I read Superboy Prime, I'm like, this can't be the way he is. This is the way he is? He's Gwenpool from the Marvel universe?
He always has been.
Yeah.
I truly, every time I read it, I'm like, oh, right. Whoa, it's so weird.
Not always, mind you. Like, he was always from a continuity where comics existed and then he became Superboy, but it was really Jeff Johns in Infinite Crisis, I think, who turned him into this. This is the first time I feel like we've seen him be, like, funny winking at the camera stuff, though.
Very Deadpool coded here. I mean, it works. It's just, especially a story that is so, like, you know, meaningful in the current continuity and continuity heavy, to have him like fucking around in the middle of it is strange. But man, I love the Legion stuff. I love seeing Starman.
Starman, dude, come on!
Shouts to that.
The bearded Starman is a little out of his mind. I love it.
Yeah,
that's Booster Gold.
No, there is a bearded Starman.
Oh, there's also the bearded Starman.
Yeah,
okay, I thought you were talking Booster Gold Starman because he has a star on his costume.
I love seeing Booster
the
Gold.
The old man Booster Gold, dude. That's a completely different guy.
And I love the submarine reveal.
Wait. No, so this is first. I love the kind of old school feel to the cover here. We get the little icon in the corner where it used to tell you how much it costs, but now it doesn't. But I do think that I do think that that's kind of a cool thing to kind of bring back, and they're still enjoying the summer of Superman, so that's nice. But yeah, I love
really breaking down the
art
cover.
Here. Dude, I love talking covers, man. One of my favorite things
I appreciate that. This is actually an interesting note. The first time you've ever described a cover on this podcast.
But you got some real epic panels here. Even Superman at some point has this giant splash page, and he's like, epic? And I'm like, yeah, Superman, this is an epic panel. I'm glad you're pointing this out. But the Superman, like, angry flying, being like, where is Darkseid? I thought that was really badass. Yeah, I think that there's some kind of crazy over-the-top stuff happening, but I like how fast it's moving, and so, yeah, this is cool.
All right. Next up, Imperial War. Why can't I say that? Black Panther, #1 from Marvel, written by Victor Laval and Jonathan Hickman, art by Kafu. Another one-shot that is, I believe, setting up a title down the road. We don't know exactly when that's going to debut, but I think it's next year. And we're following Black Panther directly off of when he was facing down 2 Hulks at the end of, I want to say, Imperial #2. And we follow from there as the nation, the intergalactic empire of Wakanda fights back against everybody. What do you think about this one?
Well, first off, we got kind of another cool Civil War kind of vibe cover here, which is great. But I like this issue. It's fun to see Black Panther with a sense of humor. He opens with a joke, which is funny. 2 Hulks walk into a bar. I love that bit. That was funny. That
was funny.
And then him being like, now tell me the good news. That was a funny moment. So it's nice to see this side of Black Panther a little bit. But man, the art is unbelievable, and this is a great issue because Black Panther's starting to figure stuff out and make some fucking moves to kind of hopefully turn the tide in this giant war here. So great issue. I'm enjoying this.
I appreciated the tone that Pete's describing, but this book definitely fell on the other side of the Imperial storytelling, where I was like, what's all this stuff going on? There's so much like, well, actually, that's not true. And then he goes and talks to different people, and they seem mad, but also agreeing with him, but like sort of unclear exactly what. Because he's also like, I respect you, but I will kill you for what you did to my sister. I'm like, what? Okay, fight coming soon, I guess. And I feel like maybe that's part of this book is in between, setting up with whatever this new situation that the Space Wakanda will be dealing with.
Masterminds, #1 from Dark Horse Comics, written by Zach Kaplan, art by Stephen Thompson. This is a new series following a put-upon video game designer who is mostly working on trees, on bigger projects. He wants to break out on his own, and he gets a chance, maybe, thanks to the titular organization, Masterminds, which is like Mensa on crack, and they put him through a series of more and more dangerous challenges, leading to a huge cliffhanger at the end, which is not a submarine cliffhanger, but it might as well have been. I gotta say, I think this was maybe my favorite issue of the week. I was really surprised by this.
Really?
I thought this was really well structured, a lot of fun, went in some really surprising directions. The main character is not great, and I mean that not in terms of a quality way, but in terms of like he's not a great guy, and I think that's interesting to follow in this sort of situation to see how far he falls. So this was a big surprise. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was an intriguing cover. This is fun if you like puzzles and games and the whole Riddler of it all, with death on the line if you're into Squid Game and all that bullshit. But I feel like the art does a great job of kind of giving you that creepy tenseness that this tone is trying to set. So I feel like they did a good job with that. But I don't know. I just kind of check out when it's this, your life is on the line type of shit. So not in my wheelhouse, but other stuff was very much enjoyable about this.
He likes lower stakes stuff. Your life is firmly off the line.
Anytime someone's like, solve this puzzle or die, you know what I mean? I'm like, well, fuck this.
Does that happen to you a lot? Is that why you're bored by this?
Yeah.
You have a lot of riddle situations. Well, it's funny. This reminded me of Ready Player One.
Oh, interesting.
Horror a bit with the way it was like,
love that movie.
This guy who's an outsider, like, I'm so sick of this. If only I had my chance. And then he gets it, except he has to let so many people die that he knows, which I thought was surprising and strange.
The Voice Said Kill, number 2 from Image Comics, written by Cy Spurrier, art by Vanessa Del Rey. We are following I believe, parks ranger or wildlife consultant. I don't know. Who she is heavily pregnant, and in the last issue, she semi-accidentally killed a dude in the Everglades, and that is not exactly coming back to haunt her, but there are other murders and other criminals in the area who are making things more and more dangerous for her. Justin, I know you love the first issue of this. How do you feel it held up in issue 2?
Continue to love it. This story, I thought the second issue was going to be a lot of her dwelling on what she did, trying to make sense of it and sort of get away from being caught. And instead, it's not that at all. Another series of crazy things happen. The art is really cool and unique. The characters, I feel like, are well done. I want to shout out the lettering, I think, is excellent.
Yes,
really hear different tones and voices in the characters' voices. It's so tense what's happening. Yeah. And just Cy Spurrier just gets into the details and builds characters that feel just so different than other people. So really enjoyed this and love the submarine reveal.
Man, you really got
By the way, to clarify, this is the one with the submarine reveal.
How will ever know? There's so many.
You have to read all of the comments.
So, anyways, first off, I just want to go on record to say, if you do have a voice in your head that's telling you to kill, you don't have to listen to it. Okay, just kind of put that PSA out of there. I really enjoyed the twists and turns of this, and I do agree that the art does such a great job of adding this kind of tension, and you're rooting for preggers, and but the pregnancy also adds an extra level of tension, man. But man, I hope
true in reality.
Yeah, I bet. But I hope she's going to make it out okay, because I'm team preggers on this. You know what I mean?
Great.
Great.
Absolute Martian Manhunter, number 6 from DC Comics, written by Dennis Camp, art by Javier Rodriguez. This issue has come down to the Green Martian versus the White Martian, as everything is going haywire in the city. Pete, you love this one, so
I sure do.
You start.
Well, first off, I mean, this is worth it for the art alone. I mean, these really fun pages and impressive layouts and the use of coloring is just so fucking phenomenal. I can't stress enough. I mean, this is just crazy cool stuff here. And you should buy the actual picture, because there's pages here you got to hold it up to the sun to get the message, and hopefully it isn't don't forget to drink your Ovaltine is the secret message here. But yeah, there's some it depends. You get to decide if you're a good person or an evil person by just holding up a picture to the sun here. So this is going to change a lot of people's lives. But all that aside, I really think that this is a great book. I love all the things that happen, and the stress of like this guy lying to his wife is finally over because he promises he's not going to lie to her anymore, and what a fucking relief. Holy shit, that's been really bothering me, so I'm glad we came to that conclusion.
I just feel like this is one of the most meticulously planned books on the stands. Like, I feel like Dennis Camp's writing feels so
Dude, you're in the camp,
specific. Bro. I'm in the camp. I'm up at the camp. I'm in the camp. It's camp season. The way that the details are so finely done. The art. There's a moment where it's just green Martian versus white Martian fighting, where the green in someone's eye is fighting the white of their eyeball on the other side. Like, it was just really great. It's amazing.
I will mention as one last note, just like with the first issue, this is one you're definitely going to want to get a physical copy of, not a digital copy. So there you go. Did you say that, Pete?
I did say that. I made that a big point.
I wasn't really listening. The Thing, number 4 from Marvel, written by Tony Fleece, art by Justin Mason.
You gotta be Tony Fleece kidding me.
Thing is fighting his way across the city against a bunch of supervillains who are trying to kill him and break his face apart, per the cover, I guess. That doesn't actually happen in the book. Spoiler.
Great cover.
Yeah, great cover. There's nothing like Juggernaut coming through your face. You know what I mean?
What is that? Wow. Position 85?
Yeah. We hurry and say the sex
sex joke.
I really like the last couple, this whole month since the Fantastic Four movie came out. We've gotten amazing things.
You saying it's the summer Fantastic Four? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I'm saying in a lot of ways it hasn't been, unfortunately, but I do think. One of my big takeaways from the Fantastic Four movie was that there wasn't enough time with Ben Grimm. He got sort of like, he just was pretty monotone the whole movie. I feel like in the comics, it has been the summer of the Thing. We've gotten so many big stories. We had the Thing fighting the entire Marvel Universe last week. Mm-hmm. This series has been really nice. I like it. I like the attitude, the vibe. I feel like this really is the summer of the Thing.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun, and Tony's having a blast with this, and it seems like it. It's jumping off the page. I mean, this is worth it for the villain cameos alone. There's a lot of great panels here that are just a blast. It's fun to see Ben Grimm go through this gauntlet of villains and try to save the day.
I do have a question, though. How does this Thing's skin work? Like, he has rocks on the outside.
Right.
Yeah. When he gets punched, underneath there's like some pinky skin.
Pinky skin?
That like pink skin?
I always thought that was muscle, which doesn't make a lot of sense.
So that's like straight to his muscle, and there's no rock there. It's just a coating.
He's all rock, dude. There's no skin underneath. He's all rock, bro.
No. There's flesh because it gets punched off all the time.
Yeah.
You think the pink is also rock? It's like quartz. He's quartz under there?
I think he's all rock.
Or you think it's candy?
I think he has what do you think he tastes like? Delicious, probably, right?
Like rock candy, right?
Yeah.
I think he tastes like the gum in like Fleer baseball cards from the 90s.
I think he tastes more like the Fun Dip stick is what he tastes like. You know, a little bit more chalky.
We'll have to wait for next issue to find out. Stitch number 1 from Dynamite, written by Connor Ratliff and James III. Art by Getta Zella. This is Stitch finally ditching Lilo, who nobody likes, and breaking out on his own. Hell yeah. You guys talked to Connor and James a couple of weeks back on the live show, so
James III.
That. But what did you guys think about this issue?
This is just fun, cool idea. Love the backup story. Yeah, I think this is kind of cool. This, we get this like, guy who wanted a little chaos monster, and I think that's kind of a fun way to kind of come at this. So yeah, I liked what we learned in this issue, and I thought it was cool and great art.
Very fun, funny, written by two comedians that we know. It's Connor's, if you haven't listened to the interview, it's really great. It's Connor's first published comic book work, so that's really cool to see out there.
Congrats to Connor.
It's very, very much in line with the movies. If you're a fan of those, I would say definitely pick this up. We've been talking about how the Disney comics from Dynamite have been on just a great run, and this continues that, I think.
We're taking everyone down with us. Number 5 from Image Comics, written by Matthew Rosenberg, art by Stefano Landini. We are following the daughter of a great villain who is like a James Bond style villain. He was killed by the James Bond style character, and he transferred his consciousness into a robot who has been hanging out with the girl, who is now reunited with her mother, who she thought was dead. So lots of family dynamics going on in this issue. This series is very violent, but very fun at the same time. I'm enjoying it. What do you guys think?
I like it too. I really like how much comedy there is in here with all of the drama that you just described, Alex. There's just great stuff about what a scumbag the James Bond character is. He's like, wants someone to, or someone says, hey man, you got to get that checked out. There's something wrong with your penis, which I thought was just a funny, out of nowhere line here. Just a lot of great comedic moments in the midst of some great James Bondy style action.
Yeah, I feel like, this is going to be a real problem in the future when people are just downloading their consciousness to different robots, and you're like, oh man, Grandpa shouldn't be living this long. This shit's getting crazy. But I feel like Bergie is killing the game.
I can't wait to have your consciousness in a Tamagotchi, Pete.
Oh man, you better feed.
And I'll be like, should I?
You gotta feed. You better fucking feed.
Cheese steak.
Oh man,
garbage plate.
I was thinking about today how much I gained, how much weight I gained while living in Philly, trying all the different cheesesteaks. It was a lot.
I wouldn't call what you did trying them. You were housing them. You were eating them
on a regular basis. Anyways, I just think this is awesome. It's fun to kind of see in this issue a little ass kicking going on. So yeah, great art, great action. I am loving this. Just like McDonald's.
The Avengers, number 29 from Marvel, written by Jed McKay, art by Fareed Karami. We haven't reviewed this book in a little while, but I thought it was worth checking back in as they are finally heading towards the thing that they've been promising since, I believe, the first issue, finding out what the missing moment is, and they're actually tying it back to Secret Wars, an event that only a few characters in the Marvel Universe remember from the 2015 version of the event. So what did you guys think? What did you guys think about this check-in with the Avengers?
I really liked this. I mean, I've been keeping up with it, and I do like this book. It has been sort of in different pockets of story that I'm like, I don't know exactly what this is. Blood Hunt being a big one of those. We had of course, the Ashen Combine.
Of course.
And I feel like Jed McKay, we get a new team of Avengers that is created and named here and then literally flushed down a hole over the course of the story, which I was like, interesting choice. But I like all the big continuity choices. I was reading this, feels a little bit like what they're doing on the DC side of things, but it feels like they're just starting on the Marvel side right now with these bigger ideas. So I like this. Great check-in.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, it's a lot of them just kind of sitting around talking like, hey, do you remember the moment? Hey, I'm not sure what moment you're talking about. But I did like Captain Marvel being like, we're not just saving the world, we're saving all the worlds, which I think is an important distinction. This is getting intriguing, so I'm getting more excited.
I'm definitely curious to see where this goes next. There's a tease they're heading back to Secret Wars and fighting the zombies, but I gotta say I kind of agree with Pete here. There's a lot of sitting around the farmhouse and talking to Reed and talking around stuff where it was like, okay, get to it. You're in a superhero comic.
Yeah, but I thought that stuff was cool. It was all surprising.
I was very distracted by the fact that every other character in every other panel was holding their head in the same way with their pointer finger on their forehead.
That's how they know they're thinking.
Oh, well, I'm thinking.
Look at how much we're thinking right now.
All I'm saying is, like, I don't know, like the sexual positions I mentioned from Brubaker and Phillips earlier on.
Switch up positions,
whether they're sexual or not.
Wow, what a great takeaway from this stack. Alex's position news.
Justice League Unlimited, number 10 from DC Comics, written by Mark Waid, art by Dan Mora. Another big stuff going down issue as Time Trapper, who is Doomsday, gets almost killed by Darkseid's Legion, and he needs the Justice League's help. He can't die.
If he dies, he comes back, just a reminder, as a bad Doomsday. as a killer.
He's
Doomsday.
already emo Doomsday. I don't know how much worse it can get.
How much skinnier can he get?
Yeah, I know.
No, I think that's the worry. Is he's going to get jacked again? He's going to get.
Do you think he's going to be like Christian Bale and The Machinist? He's going to be doing
What are you doing?
You guys know what I'm talking about. The Machinist. He gets like crazy skinny. Christian Bale, it was like physically he should not have gotten that skinny.
Right. I can understand the skinny, but then the dance moves that you do.
Oh, he does this thing where like his stomach is all the way sucked in, and you can see his ribs, and it's very gross.
It's not.
Yeah,
good.
it's gross.
But that's everyone's favorite Christian Bale movie, no doubt.
I dare you name one other Christian Bale movie other than The Machinist.
Batman.
Also, I dare you to tell me whether it's The Machinist or The Machinist, because I honestly don't know.
That's funny.
Anyway, Justice League Unlimited number 10 here, fun cover. I liked Elemental Man, being the operator. He seemed like he was the wrong guy for the job, but he seems like a mad doctor, but that was gross. Shit's about to go down, and parademons are just giving birth, so this seems like a fun idea.
Beautiful. Are you back in that Prigers, like you said earlier, Pete, or what do you think?
I don't know. This Prigers is a little upsetting.
Okay, well, one for one on the back in that Prigers front.
Yeah.
Just to keep track. I like this. What I really liked about this was seeing the Trinity, seeing your Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman having a little conference room style meeting.
You love
Mark
meetings,
Waid writes,
dude.
I do.
Love meetings.
Well,
you
there's
love
dramatic.
sitting around talking, just like
Mark Waid
let's
writes
have
the
more
shit
meetings.
out of this
We should have a meeting
conversation.
about this meeting, just to make sure.
Everyone, the stack is a meeting. Everyone of the three Trinity are being. We're a Trinity in a way, but everyone, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, is being major themselves. That was cool. It's crazy that this book paired with Superman 29. There's just so much going on, and it feels like an event, but yet it is not.
Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring, number 2 from IDW, written and drawn by Patrick Horvath. In this issue, we're zooming back in time for the cliffhanger of the first issue to show what happened to Samantha and what led her up to the point of contacting the Duck, who is the sister of the Duck that she killed in the first series. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, this is set in a cozy Richard Scarry-esque world where Sam the bear is a serial killer and she is trying to hide that, but the walls are closing in on her. We've also jumped forward in time from the previous series. So the internet exists now. I think it's in the 90s, if I remember correctly. So that gives it a different flavor, and that's something we delve into heavier in this issue. Justin, why don't we go to you first? What did you think?
I love this. I love the way that Sam is simultaneously like a little bit nervous and scared about the sins of the past coming back to her. At the same time, bored, pushing it, annoyed by the encroaching technological culture around her. I like what's happening here. The murder in this issue is barely referenced. It's just doing the business.
Barely.
Yes. But really good. All the other characters are interesting. This thing of non-speaking animals entering the town is interesting and being part of it. There's grisliness everywhere, and I love the submarine reveal.
Yeah, get it, Grizzly. I just get this out of the way, Alex, and you can talk about it. I love the art.
For those of you that don't know, Pete is scared of this book.
Yeah, it's too fucking scary.
Well, see, here's what I don't understand, though, about that, Pete, is, Pete, where does Sam the Bear work? Can you remind me where she works in the book?
At a hardware store.
Yeah, she works at a hardware store. Now, she takes some stuff from the hardware store to do her killing. What was that stuff that she takes from the hardware store?
You're talking about the paint jars that they keep body parts in?
Jars, and also there's some other stuff that she takes from the hardware store.
Well,
here's my question: is like, what would you call equipment that you get at a hardware store? Just generally speaking, like broad term, what would you call it?
Tools.
Oh, so she takes some tools from the hardware store to cause violence on people? That's what you say, Pete? Now, Pete, if I remember all the way back to the beginning of the stack, you said you liked any book where somebody uses tools to cause violence. So what changed since the Mortal Thor #1, Pete?
Okay, so here's the difference.
We finally got him. Throw him
Mortal
in jail.
Thor is hopefully a good person. Okay, beating up bad guys, and this is a serial killer killing innocents, which I will not stand for.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting. Fair.
Wow.
It's interesting that you didn't say that earlier when I asked you about it, but okay. This book is really great, beautifully drawn, intricate storytelling. I love what they're doing with Sam and the whole town here. All the other characters we're following as well are really fascinating as Patrick Horvath continues to flesh out the supporting cast, no pun intended. I was really surprised after the big cliffhanger at the end of the first issue that we didn't cut back there, but I really think he's doing just such an excellent job of building the tension as we go. So, fantastic book. Do not miss it. One of the best on the stands. Geiger #17 from Ghost Machine and Image Comics, written by Jeff Johns, art by Eduardo Pensica and Gary Frank. This issue, Geiger is dead? Nah, he's not dead, but he is in a prison, and it turns out that he may be powerless. Meanwhile, his zebra is getting larger.
It's very funny. When that happened, I was like, huh. Okay. It's the end of the issue reveal is the zebra's a little bigger.
Oh man, that's concerning.
I think I read that and the page before it like 3 times. Where it's like, surely I must be missing something.
It's funny you say that. I looked back and I was like, well, how much bigger did it get? And I was like, I guess a little bit. And I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Trying to size up the zebra for like dramatic purposes? I will say,
stop sizing them zebras, bro.
Stop sizing them up. This is one of my more favorite issues of this comic because I like what Geiger's going through.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. This is awesome. It's nice that we get the 3-headed monster dog early in the issue. A fun back matter about the pirate treasure. Yeah, and we thought maybe he got blown up, but he just got thrown in jail and doesn't have his powers. So I thought also that was like keeping him alive, that kind of radioactive thing, but I'm not sure. So it'll be interesting to see how he kind of gets out of this. But great art and story. More, please.
Yeah, doing a classic prison break type storyline in the middle of this, I think, is really smart, and it breaks
with a growing zebra time bomb that's happening as well.
Yes, exactly. How big will that zebra get? I guess we'll find out. But yeah, I like shaking up the storytelling mode here, and it puts Geiger in a different place. So good series. Death of the Silver Surfer #3 from Marvel, written by Greg Pak, art by Sumit Kumar. In the last issue, Norrin Rad was captured, as it turns out, by the blood of Galactus. I was about to say but at least I thought that Galactus was dead here. Turns out that's not what's going on at all. And the Fantastic Four is coming to try to save him, but things don't go so well for them. What'd you think about this one, Pete?
Well, I agree with Jasper that I don't like it when we're talking about the blood of Galactus. It kind of freaks me out. But yeah, I love this art here. Love this kind of first big panel you have of just showing the enormity of space and then a small Silver Surfer. I thought that was just like such a cool, powerful image. And it's fun to kind of see the Fantastic Four here trying to kind of figure things out. And this is pretty unique and cool. Love the art, love the storytelling. I'm all in, man. This is kind of exciting and crazy. It was the whole kind of blood thing and seeing kind of Galactus as this kind of like just kind of giant floating thing was kind of some real interesting images, is what I'm trying to say.
I love the blood of Galactus stuff. That's really new, it feels like. And again, I like this Fantastic Four bit, the way they come together as a fam. I know it's cliched, but they really do in this issue, and I liked it.
Green Lantern Dark, number 6 from DC Comics, written by Tate Bromble, art by Werther Deladera.
Yes.
In this issue, Green Lantern is down and out and being attacked by the big bad villain that brought darkness onto the entire world. Will she be able to get out of this? Maybe not, as she finds out some dark secrets about her power. I love this series. The art is gorgeous. I know Justin likes to say it's like something is killing the children, but DC in the DC universe, I think it's a little more than that.
Yes,
feels
it
like
is.
that, certainly because of the art, but there's some really interesting character dynamics going on here. Some great fairy tale logic. We've got a beautiful fairy queen, it looks like, fighting who looks like a goblin, but their positions are reversed. So this is smartly thought out throughout, through the lens of the DC universe, down to characters who are Batman and Beast Boy and others. I love this.
Yeah, I agree. This is really unique and fun. I love the art style. My favorite thing about this book is it doesn't feel like a Green Lantern book. This kind of more magical kind of feel to it is such a unique thing that brings it to its own kind of separate world. And this is just very creative and cool. And yeah, I've been really impressed with the artistry of this.
Yeah, I like this too. It feels a little bit slow. And I don't know if that's literally, that's what I think about something is killing the children too. And if it's translated over to me on that.
Or you're bringing that baggage to this book, which maybe is unfair.
I would never bring baggage to any situation, Pete. I wake every day like a newborn, like a peeled grape, looking out at the world, trying to understand it. You know what I mean?
What? Do grapes look at the world?
Grapes are little eyeballs. They're the eyeballs of the fruit aisle. Hellboy and the BPRD. Professor Harvey is gone, from Dark Horse Comics, written by Mike Mignola, art by Giuseppe Manunta. In this issue, Hellboy is investigating the mystery of Professor Harvey, who is gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
That's pretty much it. That's the whole
I
thing.
mean,
You know
I
how
gotta
this
say,
goes.
that title, there's been so much Hellboy coming out, and like, I've enjoyed a lot of it, but I was like, are these guys doing a little too much? Like, feels a little lazy to be like, Professor Harvey is gone is the name of this comic book.
I don't know. It's whatever. There's weird names to a lot of things, but I'm just happy that we got Hellboy back and we're going on adventures. And, gods want to be worshipped. That's their whole deal. And this god is no different. And unfortunately, this poor professor gets their head smashed in for wanting that god. So love the kind of watercolor look to this book. And, when the Hellboy's on adventures, I'm having a great time. So, yes, please, more.
I did enjoy this. Strange outfit for our evil queen to be wearing. I don't know how.
Hey, don't outfit shame her.
It's not a shaming thing.
She's
I was
also
just like
evil.
Yeah, she's pretty evil. I don't know if it's warm or cold where she is, because she's wearing nothing except for like a little
So
belt.
it's probably super warm then.
But then she's wearing a pretty heavy cape. So like, it seems like it might be cold.
So she's got the cape for when it gets colder, at night.
Yeah,
Plus, and a lot of metal on skin.
Her back and the sides of her boobs are very cold, but the other sides of her boobs are not.
Not hot. Warm.
Warm.
Just warm. They're just warm.
The Man Who Dreamt the Impossible, from Image Comics, written by Mario Freitas, art by Lucas Pereira. This issue is... Oh boy. Imagine... This is an imagined situation where what if Jack Kirby lived and ended up in a elder care home with all of the people he ever worked with, who now in this situation he is very good friends with. Meanwhile, there is a mystical entity who is trying to suck out his creativity, and there is an orderly who can help him fight back against that entity. There was, when this news came out about this book, there were definitely a lot of head scratching and a lot of people being like, should you be doing that? And I gotta say, after reading it, they should not have.
No. Wow.
Really? Because it's like not cool what they
No,
bent
it's not
these real
cool.
people.
Like, I think I understand the impulse from people here to be like, we are paying tribute to the great Jack Kirby.
Yep.
This doesn't look like Jack Kirby's art. You're not paying Jack Kirby a tribute,
But it kind of looks like Jack Kirby.
Yes, I do think
yes, it is a
that
cartoon version of Jack Kirby. Yes, I am aware of that. It doesn't look like his art. You also do not look like your art, Pete. They're two separate things. But your art is wonderful, and I'm excited to check out your gallery. In addition, the whole story being like, ooh, somebody is sucking Jack Kirby's creativity and really taking advantage of him. I was like, that's what you're doing with this book at this very time. And in general, this is a personal thing, which I won't put on this book. I cannot deal with the imagined conversation thing whenever there is any project like that. They're like, I imagine that I had a conversation with Mark Twain, and here's how it goes. It's like, you're putting yourself on the same level where you could have a conversation with Mark Twain, and I don't know that that is necessarily true. There were very few rare cases where that's true, and I got the same feeling from this, whereas like, we know how Jack Kirby related to all of these people, and the answer is like, I don't think you did. And the way that you're painting Stanley and Walt Disney as villains, sure, that's the popular thing in popular culture, but I also think you're putting something on them that didn't necessarily exist that way, which is still a way more complicated thing. So in general, this left me with a very gross feeling. How'd you guys feel about it? Pete, I bet you liked it.
No, I thought it was cool but sad. I think it got weird and meta at sometimes, but I like the idea of somebody saying that Jack Kirby was such a big part of comics that, you know, I want to have a conversation with him. And I want him to be in more things. So I like the idea around that, but just having him kind of in an old folks home and needing help was kind of sad. So I don't know if it achieved what it went out to do. I would have liked this to have people be like, I want to check out more Jack Kirby stuff, you know? So I don't know. Hopefully it does that.
Yeah, but I don't know that anybody would want to do that off of this. Like, there's other things. Yeah. There's, oh God, I'm completely forgetting the name of it. But there was a book from Abrams that recently came out. It was like The Avengers and the Veracity Paradox, I want to say. That's not the exact title, but it's something like that. And that was two guys, the creators of that book, getting sucked into a very meta Avengers adventure that felt very Kirby-esque at times, down to the machines that they're creating and other things. But at no time were they being like, and Jack Kirby is there, and he turns to us, the characters of the book, and says, I love you and I'm proud of you, which I'm sure is a very nice feeling if that happens. But they were paying tribute by being like, we're going to play in this world as best as we can and show people what it looks like and what it feels like. Here, I get no feeling for Jack Kirby's works out of anything.
But you do walk away thinking like Jack Kirby was an important figure in history. So even if I'm a kid who is just, you know, like a younger kid who doesn't know the history of comics, I can at least be like, who's Jack Kirby? I should look this up. You know what I mean?
I might think he's someone who lost his mind in an old folks' home after reading this book, because that's sort of what happens in a way. The one thing I did like about it was all the floating metal heads of the different comic book creators and people.
That was cool to see whose head was what.
Cool. Would be very curious to hear from anybody who read this how you felt about this, if you were inspired by it in any way, if any children go into comic book shops anymore as well, per Pete's point. That would be great to know as well. So Pete can hang out next to them. The Incredible Hulk, number 28 from Marvel, written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, art by Adam Gorham. Big stuff is about to go down in the world of the Hulk as Eldest and the Mother of Horrors are gunning straight for him. In this issue, some weird stuff is going down, and he heads towards the end game of this series, at least for the time being. What'd you guys think?
You know what I was thinking, guys, reading this? This is sort of like Hellboy. We're getting Hulk going into different situations and having to be this, like, catch up about what's happening. usually fight someone, while a larger mystical thing. And I guess, I mean, this is Hellboy back, 10 years ago, when there was still more of a continuity happening and we were still in sort of the main story of Hellboy. Now we're in some like more the Professor Harvey is gone era. But back in the day when there was a more central spine to it, that's what this book feels like, and I really like that.
What's weird is this cover really turned me off to this comic, but then the comic won me back over. What
didn't you like about the cover?
This is a gross body horror cover that...
Can you, I know we don't ever ask you to do this, can you just describe the cover really quick?
It looks like somebody's trying to escape through Hulk's skin, if that makes sense, and it is a lot of teeth.
What do you think? Too many teeth.
Too many teeth. And
teeth going in the wrong directions.
Oh man, a lot of
teeth on
directions.
the outside.
Yeah. But anyways,
outside
like
teeth.
I did think I think it's like the first or second panel where it's just Hulk kind of sitting underwater was just such a kind of peaceful Hulk that you don't get to see often. So that little moment in time was a really impressive panel, and I really love that panel. Yeah, I thought though that this was a lot of cool moments, and love all the art and action in this. So the Hulk story kind of won me over by the end, but the cover was tough to get past.
All right, why don't we move on and talk about Robin and Batman, Jason Todd, number 3 from DC Comics, written by Jeff Lemire, art by Dustin Nguyen. This is, I believe, the final issue of this series, focusing on a younger version of Jason Todd, who has left to team up with a new, harsher vigilante called The Wrath, and Batman is trying to decide whether to get him back. I thought the series was great, like we talked about with the previous issues. It dove into the relationship between Jason Todd and Batman in an entirely new way, at least from what I've read before, really dealing with their psychology, a concerned, nervous, off his game Batman. And at the same time, they even sneak in some very sad hints for the future of Jason Todd.
The page at the end where Jason's visiting the Wrath, or the Wraith, and walking past Joker's cell in Arkham, I thought was really cool.
Oh my God! Just
the art's amazing in this.
The art is unbelievable. Really worth it for the art alone here. The watercolor type panels, just so amazing looking. I love how it's such a cool vibe for this comic. And dude, the Batman hugging Robin really got me. I was really surprised by that, caught off guard, and started to get choked up. This is an awesome comic.
Agree.
Sonia Reborn, number 1 from Dynamite, written by Christopher Priest, art by Alessandro Miracolo. This is following a modern woman who, through weird circumstances, gets thrust back in time into the body of Red Sonja.
God, I hate it when that
happens. Has to deal with it. Can a barbarian woman have it all? That's the big question behind the series.
Wow, really good.
So.
Lean in.
Let's hope so.
I gotta be honest, that was my one quibble. As usual, this is Chris Priest doing his crazy stuff. There are so many things going on in this book and so many interesting ideas, but the high concept of modern woman thrown into body of Red Sonja, I feel like gets underplayed because of all of that. Like, there's a little bit of it where she's like, whoa, it's hard to ride a horse, but I do know how to ride a horse because I'm in this body. Ooh, I have a sword, but I know how to use it. And I'm kind of like, no, we need more impediments to what's happening here where then she can learn. But maybe I want it to be a 1980s comedy instead of what it is.
Oh, interesting.
Just like usual.
Yeah,
I
you
really
want it to be
enjoyed
more
this.
like Mannequin the movie, throw a little Hollywood in there.
Yeah, that was the body switching comedy I definitely thought of first.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I thought of too.
That's where a body moves into a mannequin. Right?
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
Wait, real quick. In Mannequin, the mannequin just comes to life? Or are all mannequins alive?
No. One magical mannequin comes to life.
Is it because of a kiss?
Well, she was a princess that then got tricked with a evil necklace, and then is brought to life through a magical kiss.
That's the premise. It's an
I haven't
princess.
seen it in so many years.
And is it the same premise for Mannequin 2 on the move, or
Yeah.
do they switch it up at all?
Well, it's a different actor playing the mannequin, so I'm
Is
not
it
sure.
only one mannequin that ever lives?
What?
Is it only
it's the
one?
same-
It's the same mannequin, or is it
It's the
another
same mannequin. Yeah.
Yeah. Justin's wondering if more than one mannequin comes to life.
I feel like there's a lot of opportunity for more mannequins to come into life.
All I'm saying
Yeah,
is
just
we
one
got a
mannequin,
couple
dude.
more
Why do you
comic
want
books to
more
talk about, but after
mannequins
that,
coming
let's
to
start
life?
breaking down Mannequin 3.
Yes, exactly. All mannequins versus all humans.
There was a third one?
I don't know if we could win.
No, we're writing it. We're writing it after this. We're writing Mannequin 3.
okay.
Though I think, not to get too ahead of myself, because we're going to talk about it afterwards for a really long time, but I think we should do a reboot of Mannequin, like call it Mannequin again versus Mannequin 3. We can still do the legacy play, get some of the old cast back, but
I think we should say
Yeah, we
mannequin
gotta get the cast
surprise
back.
submarine
Gotta
at
get
the
it.
end.
Here's the thing: should we get the mannequin back? Can we get the mannequin back?
was Kim Basinger the Mannequin?
No, dude. Kim
Daryl
Cattrall.
Hannah.
Kim Cattrall. She's
Jesus
available.
Christ, man. Come on.
I'm thinking
Anyways.
Splash. Splash.
Yeah.
Kim's Video, I believe, was the
Kim's video. Jesus Christ.
Wow! Shout out to the New Yorkers.
Anyways, this
Are
is
we still
this is
talking
weird.
about this book?
Yeah, this is weird. The Sonya book of having a modern day person kind of wake up as Red Sonya. But I do agree with the Zelbatron, where part of me was like, yeah, I get the fact that she's like, oh, I just got to kind of like get out of my own way and let this body kind of take over. But the fact that she was just like, oh, I can ride a horse. Oh, I know how to swing a sword. I was like, I would have liked a little bit more like.
You don't buy it.
Yeah, yeah.
You want a
Little
training
struggle.
montage.
Yeah.
Well, or just like over the course of several issues, she slowly learns to do that. But
Yeah.
she seems pretty capable also at the beginning is the other thing. So,
Yeah, but I do, as far as the first issue, though, I do want to find out what happens, so I want to keep reading, and so I mispronounced that as Wahhabis.
You'll Do Bad Things, number 6 from Image Comics, written by Tyler Boss, art by Adriano Turtolucci. This is the final issue of this series about an author whose crime novel keeps coming to life and killing people, or does it? I got to tell you, after reading this last issue, I don't know.
Oh, man. Dude,
I know,
look
and
at
I
this
liked
old
the end.
computer dripping blood, dude. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I don't know. I just maybe I was tired when I was reading it or something. I've liked maybe every other issue of the series. Always like the art. The art is very good, particularly if you like criminal books. It seems right in line with what's going on there. But every other issue, the plot has felt very murky to me. It's been very hard to hold on to exactly what's happening at any point, purposefully, I think. And this issue,
Right.
in my mind, definitely lead into that. But Justin, go ahead. What?
Yeah,
what-
Tyler,
I
you're not
like-
my boss. Go ahead.
I liked the way this ended. I liked the twist of it and the sort of. I guess I won't spoil it, but the way
Spoil it.
No, I don't want to. It's a good reveal, and I don't know if everyone's reading this book. and
What
I would
about the
suggest
fourth
they
wall
do.
break with the glowing white kind of fairy person who looks right into our souls as we're reading the comic? How did that grab you?
Pretty good, I guess. You're talking about. Is this another submarine reveal situation?
No, there's a character who's kind of like a white, kind of like ghost fairy, kind of looks at what's happening, points to it, and then kind of looks out at the reader. And I was like,
Yes. Well, I do think. I mean, there's a meta textual thing happening here.
it's a meta thing. Yeah.
Well, I just mean across the board in the book with the idea of like, you guys want the next murder story, even if real people have to die to tell it to you, kind of a thing. I feel like that's where we're ending up with it thematically, and I liked it.
All right, why don't we move on and talk about another Mindbender, Benjamin, number 3 from Odie Press, written by Ben H. Winters, art by Leo Max. We've been following a sci-fi writer who has found himself in situations right out of his novels. He's trying to figure out why he was brought back to life after dying several decades ago. We had Ben H. Winters on the show a couple of months back to talk about this book, so go listen to that. But
Yeah.
versus the other one, this is a Mindbender, but I love this series. I love how it wrapped up with spoilers here, but a semi-ambiguous ending, but I do think you can choose to decide how it's going to be followed. I think the thing that really worked here for me, there was a great sense of humor throughout, not just from the writing, but also from Leo Mack's art. This is really dealing with the nature of stories and how you construct stories, what we think about ourselves, what we think about other people, how we see reality. And I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, Benjamin said in the interview with us that this really happened to him, so it's kind of cool that he brought it to life in this comic.
He did not say that. I mean, go
back and you gotta go back and listen.
His name is Ben.
Yeah, and this is called Benjamin,
Alex.
so you tell me, Zelbatron. Yeah, this is tripped out, but really kind of cool, and you got a Groundhog Day situation kind of going on here, but very interesting and different and fun, and really love the art.
I thought the end was oddly truncated. Like, it really, I wanted like 2 more pages to give me a little bit of a thing, and maybe that was meant to be like a punchline kind of a thing, and that makes sense. But I did enjoy the way the story spun out and sort of the passing of the ego from one self-obsessed person learning a lesson about other things to think about.
Ooh.
Sleep, number 4 from Image Comics by Xander Cannon. We are following a character who most likely is turning into a monster every time.
Could be the teacher. Could be the teacher was a little baked up.
Hold on. Every time he falls asleep and is tearing up his small town, more people are dying, more things are getting wrecked every single issue, and he is getting more and more panicked. Man, I love this series. The tension is palpable in every issue. The art is absolutely gorgeous. It's very cartoony, but beautifully drawn in black and white with splashes of red that purposefully really draw your attention in a great way. And like Pete said, there's a indication that things may not turn out exactly as we're supposed to think they're going to by the end of the series. I am curious to check in with you, Pete, because I continue to love the fact that they keep whatever the monster destruction is off screen, that we never see it. You were definitely hitting a wall, you expressed in the last issue at that point. We didn't get to see it this issue either. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I felt like they did a cliffhanger at the last issue that was like, oh, we got to tell you next issue. And then they're like, nah. But they did kind of introduce another possibility, which gave me a little hope. But the tension in this is just too much. And we're 4 deep now. And it's like, it's the same thing every time where we don't get to know any more, which is driving me nuts. But to agree with you, Zalbin, the red coloring is so effective and it's such an impressive use of the storytelling and kind of the art of telling a story. I feel like at the end of this, all those little things that were red are going to be kind of clues. So I don't know, man. This is really very kind of cool, but it's also driving me insane. So yeah,
cool and
tough.
Insane. I like this. I like the look of the book, and just the tension is so strong. Oh, you can see the.
Do you guys want it to be him or what? I mean, because part of me is like, dude, I don't know if I want to be rooting for this guy or rooting against him.
Here's the thing. I don't think it is going to be him, but it doesn't matter to me as much as the journey we're following, which I think really crystallized in this issue. Bubbling in the background, there's been a lot of religious stuff going on, talk about church and God and religion. That
good,
really
evil.
comes to bear in terms of good and evil, exactly that discussion in this issue. And I think at least what I'm getting from this is the idea of how much are we responsible for the things we can't control, and that is what's going on with this guy. So maybe there will be a plot twist where it turns out he's an avatar for good and he's supposed to fight this monster for evil or something like that. But that matters less to me than the journey that we're following here, which I think is so fascinating and exploring this idea in very different ways.
How about the stress of like, the girl's like, hey, let's go to this church and we'll be safe. And I was like, no, don't bring him to the church, because if you guys lock him in the church, he's going to kill all the townspeople that are left. So like the stress, they're really doing such a great job of playing with this stress.
Yeah.
All right. Be Not Afraid, Pete. Be Not Afraid, number 3 from Boom Studios, written by Jude Ellison S. Doyle, art by Lisandro Esterin. This is following a demonic Children of the Corn style kid from that The Monster on Maple Street episode, basically, of Twilight Zone, where he can wish anything into existence. He is an avatar of evil, and there is a angel who has come down to try to help the mom kill her own son. So that's what she's dealing with. Meanwhile, her mom is back alive in zombie form at a table. Pete, you all right? You okay?
No.
Pretty dark stuff.
Yeah, dude, this is like, first off, crazy cover. Creepy kid just killing everything. This is gross as fuck, and no thank you for me, but the art is great.
It's quite dark, but I do think the apocalyptic imagery of this comic is really cool. Like, it's really nicely done. And, the story is pretty light, I would say. Like, we are not involved in a lot of, like, narrative ups and downs here. It's like, this kid is doing this stuff, and there's evil at play. So the imagery, the art really leads, I feel.
News for the Fallout, number 3 from Image Comics, written by Chris Condon, art by Jeffrey Allen Love. We had the team on the live show a couple of months back at this point, so check that out. But This is, I think we could actually talk about the concept of this book now, as it's been a couple of months. We sort of hid it with the first one because it was hidden, but it's taking place at the dawn of the atomic age, when atomic testing is going on, and it has led to a race of what is probably vampires or vampire adjacent who are attacking a small diner. Most of the story is told through silhouette, or it almost looks like a shadow puppet play in a sort of way, which is really gorgeous. I don't think I said this on the podcast yet, because I don't think did we not talk about issue number 2? I honestly don't remember. But with issue number 1, what the series most reminds me of is 30 Days of Night, and that really comes through in this issue very hard. It doesn't look necessarily like Ben Temple-Smith's art, but again, it feels very adjacent to that.
Well, and we get some actual, because I agree, like, it's been hard to, like, it feels like a nuclear age. What is this? What crisis? We know there's something happening here. The bomb going off has changed something, and I think this issue is where we're getting into someone behind it and what the stakes are for the people in the town. So that's been really cool.
Yeah, I agree on a couple things here. The art's unbelievable. This just kind of gray and black tone and just kind of shadows really adds to the creepiness. And that's the thing that this comic is tackling that a lot of people aren't talking about. Back in the nuclear age, like, vampires was a real problem, and
50s.
Yeah. Oh man. So
everyone jokes about the Monster Mash, but that used to mean a lot more.
Yeah, it really did.
It was a graveyard smash, but nobody talks about that either.
No.
Well, you just did, so yeah. But yeah, it's really artistically impressive. Really, kind of adds to this tension and tone in such an incredible way. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hear or see what happens next.
The Last Boy, number 5 from Boom Studios, written by Dan Panosian, art by Alessio Avallone with Alberto Canale. This is the final issue of this series, and we've been following 2 different stories. One of Peter Pan in Neverland finally losing it completely. Everything he does is horribly wrong as oh my gosh, what is it called? Not the Nightmare King. What's I don't know.
Captain Hook?
Shadow King?
Shadow King, something like that.
Shadow King.
Yeah. Anyway, is attacking Neverland and beating him and cutting off his hand, among other things. And meanwhile, we're following Wendy Darling, who just does not want to get married. One of the big questions that we had from the beginning of this book is, how is it all going to come together? Particularly because this is not nearly the same story, but it's definitely very similar to the structure of Alice Ever After, a book that we really liked a lot from Dan Panosian. So now that is in the rearview mirror, how did you feel about this series as a whole?
It was the Phantom King, so we weren't quite there.
Yes.
But I do think, this Dan Panosian is like taking the stories, fairy tales, and being like, but what if it was fucked up? And like, what if it wasn't fun for the main characters? And I think this one just isn't as successful in it because it's not. It undercuts it's hard to have a Peter Pan that is like just not fun. Like, I don't know. There's a different way to find depth there, I feel like, that for me wasn't working in this story. And I liked the actual ending here. It was hard to find the connection to me between the Neverland stuff and the real world stuff, just from a thematic or storytelling perspective. But I did like the last page. I thought was nice.
Yeah, I agree. The last page was nice, solid ending. I felt like it wrapped up a little fast, but, it's cool what it's saying, the whole kind of Peter Pan complex where Peter Pan kind of, it takes him getting his arm choked off to be like, I need to change some things about my life. And,
That's, by the way, that's not the Peter Pan complex, but...
Well, they deal with the Peter Pan
complex. That's a Captain
complex.
Hook complex.
Yeah, that's Captain Hook complex. Yeah. Peter Pan complex is like, I really want some peanut butter.
Nope. No, that's not what that is. But
no, I'm pretty sure.
All right.
I went to
great art, interesting story.
I lived at a peanut farm for 5 years, Pete. So don't fight me on this one.
Was it crunchy or smooth?
The experience. The experience.
No, the farm. The farm is you can't till crunchy peanut butter and smooth peanut butter in the same place. It just wouldn't work.
Yeah, right. It's like the left and
different
right
tools.
Twix factory. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Different tools.
Oh, we used
but
to come
violent
to,
nonetheless.
Yeah. Come to blows, I tell you. I agree with you. I will disagree a little bit, Justin, with what you're saying about you can't have a funny Peter Pan, but I do think the difference between Alice Ever After and this is Dan Panozzi had found new ways to riff on some tired ideas with Alice in Wonderland in a way that Peter Pan needs to grow up is something we've seen a lot. And,
right.
I liked what was happening in Neverland. It was drawn well and it was executed in an interesting way as like a adventure story, but like you guys were saying, just didn't connect enough, at least in a way that was obvious to me with Wendy Darling stuff. And definitely not in the way where you were getting these very clear parallel structures between Alice in the real world and Alice in Wonderland in the first series.
Justin was saying it's having Peter Pan not be fun is the hard part.
Yes, I know, and I was disagreeing with that part.
He likes Peter when he's not having fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
in the movie Hook, he likes when Robin Williams is just doing corporate mergers.
I usually turn it off after the first 10 minutes.
Wow.
I wish he stayed on his cell phone.
Yep. Lazarus Fallen, number 3 from Image Comics, written by Greg Rucka, art by Michael Lark. We are slowly working our way through the endgame of Lazarus as Forever Carlisle and her sister are fighting another Lazarus. I don't know why I'm forgetting.
There's a lot of nouns flying around.
Yes. In a really killer fight scene that takes up most of the second half of this issue. Great. Meanwhile, there's the requisite corporate shenanigans going on in the first half. Justin, this title is your jam, so take it away.
I'm in the take for this book. I think it's great. It's a dystopian future that Greg Rucka and Michael Lark have been telling us about for, I don't know, like almost a decade now at this point. And it's excellent. It has a lot of action with also a lot of great commentary and interpersonal drama between the different families and family members. So, yeah, this is my jam, top to bottom.
Yeah, great action, cool story, lots of twists and turns. Always fun when you get a good beheading in there. This continues to be interesting. And, I'm excited to see what happens next.
Nice.
Dark Regards, number 4 from Oni Press.
Well, Dark
Dave
Regards
Hill,
to you, too.
Art by Art Young Toplin. This is the final issue of this series, following the not at all really true story of Dave Hill as he came to blows with a Norwegian death metal band. We had Dave on the show as well a couple of months ago, so check that out.
Love Dave.
Pete, Dark Regards to you. What did you think about this?
Oh, well, thank you. Yes. Justin, Dark Regards to you. Yeah,
Dark Regards.
This is fun. Love the kind of like light tone that the art sets. So it brings a little kind of humor to all the kind of a darkness, if you will. But I also love the joke about got a degree in industrial chemistry, which is the most metal of all the degrees. I mean, that's just a fun line there. I like this sense of humor. I feel like this is a cool story that ends well. Also, interesting backup. Balloon Lady freaked me out, but other than that, this was cool.
I think this is very fun and funny. It pays off. It's the most Dave Hill thing you can get right now outside.
Well, I would hope so. He wrote it.
That's what I'm saying. It's Dave, top to bottom. Def, check it out. It's very fun.
Did the Balloon Lady freak you out at all, or just me?
I love balloons.
Wow.
I'll never be scared of a balloon.
Huh.
Minor Arcana, number 10 from Boom Studios by Jeff Lemire. In this issue, and I believe probably this whole arc, we are zooming back in time to focus on our main character who is slowly accepting her powers as a fortune teller and psychic. We're jumping back in time to find out what happened to her father and why he hasn't been in the picture for years. Great story. I know we were like a little iffy on this series at the beginning, even though we like Jeff Lemire, but I really feel like it's building every single issue and getting better and better, and I'm more interested in this world. The stuff with the father is really fascinating, and I'm curious to see where it goes next. Great issue.
Well, I love the way that this whole series has been built around her coming home to her mom's little tarot card shop, psychic shop. Right, and the fact that the story just expands in the complete opposite direction, following the father and his connection to the Arcana, the tarot universe, I guess, or the tarot spirit, is really interesting and well done.
Yeah, thought this, first off, artistically love it. Anytime there's an almost kind of watercolor look, I'm a sucker for it. So cool, but it's also kind of weird. We're kind of hoping this murderer gets his life together and for his daughter, so hopefully that happens.
And last but not least, The Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos, Children of the Night, number 3 from Dark Horse Comics, written by Tate Bromble and Mary Anger, art by Isaac Goodhart and Mary Anger. In this issue, a lot of big stuff is going down as the team is trying to help out, not Mr. Hyde, Jekyll. That's the other guy, Dr. Jekyll, who is hanging out with Adam Frankenstein. Meanwhile, Vampire Boy, is that the name of the character? Gets attacked on a roof by a new villain, and some weird stuff's going on with Christopher Chaos as usual as he shows off his lab to his friends. We also get a Monsters in Love backup story.
Yeah, backup story is great.
I will say, as I usually do, this is my very stickler thing about this. I start to tune out of this book whenever we start focusing on the adults, and there is a lot of time spent with Adam Frankenstein in this issue. Yeah. And I'm like, come on.
This book loves Adam Frankenstein.
It loves Adam Frankenstein. And we had several issues in a row where I was like, okay, we're really focusing on the kids and them hanging out in high school, and it's a new title. And this issue was like, absolutely not. Adam Frankenstein gonna sit in his really hot study with his big roaring fire talking to Dr. Jekyll, and that's what you're getting. And to me, I'm like, oh, come on, man. We're following Christopher Chaos. He's interesting. The Children of the Night are interesting. I'm into that. I don't want the other stuff.
More Children of the Night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I mind it less than you do. I do think this book is just, it's broadening out the story so hard that I do think it's losing a central spine. But maybe we can
what would help with the focus a little bit is if they pared back on the Adam Frankenstein.
Oh, maybe it's Adam Frankenstein's story at the end of the day.
God damn it!
Because Christopher Chaos is too oddly pedestrian.
I love this art. I love this story. Crazy twists and turns. I hate to see the vampire go out like that, but great art, enjoyable action.
And that is it for the stack. If you'd like to support this podcast and all the podcasts we do, patreon.com/Comic Book Club. We also do a live show every Tuesday night at 7 p.m.
Sure
Facebook
do.
and YouTube. Come hang out. We would love to chat with you about comic books, Apple, Spotify, Android, or the app of your choice. To subscribe, listen, and follow the show, comicbookclublive.com for this podcast and many more. Until next time, Guys, hang in there. Another 3 hours of breaking down Mannequin 3.
Yeah, we're going to get to it. In the meantime, I got to get out of here. I'm just going to get in the best way to travel. Submarine.
Oh, that's number 5.